The people of Ukraine, without provocation, without justification, without necessity. This is a premeditated attack.
So, in this video, we will talk about the Russian-Ukraine war, which had and will continue to have the major catastrophic effect on our planet Earth. So, let's revisit our history. In the year 1917, when world was at a war, the Russian people also fought their war internally against their monarch Nicholas II. This was the rise of communism. This war was led by Lenin, who was in exile in Germany and came back to Russia to support the Russian Revolution. In the year 1922, finally the USSR has been formed, which is Union Soviet Socialist Republic, which formed the largest planet on this earth, which Ukraine was also part of it. Till the year 1991, USSR was formed by vanquishing the monarchy in whole Russia. From the year 1991 to 2014, Russia and Ukraine was quite at peace, and they were enjoying good relationship, and the people-to-people relationship between the countries was magnificent. They are commonly known as a wheat basket of the whole world. But then comes the daddies of all global disaster, that is United States of America. Yes, United States of America, the culprit behind this whole war. The great geopolitical thinker were well aware of the fact that United States of America is threatened by the rising power of Russia, or I could say the rising power of Putin. So they here means the Ukraine. They offer Ukraine the seats in European Union, which of course Putin didn't like much, but somehow they managed Ukraine to put into the European Union. In the year 2014, the consequences of these acts were that Putin had ordered Russian army to capture the Crimea region, which is the southern part of the Ukraine. You must wondering a question, why Putin will attack Ukraine? If Ukraine want to join European Union, it's their choice. It's Ukrainian people's choice if they want to join EU, NATO or not. But here comes the grand plan behind this. The reason behind the USA has forced Ukraine to join the European Union is that finally they want Ukraine to be part of NATO. For this, to complete this process, there is very necessary that Ukraine must be the part of European Union. As soon as Ukraine will be the part of the European Union, there will be a high chance that NATO member will allow Ukraine to be the part of the NATO itself, because they would feel more comfortable with Ukraine to be part of NATO. So why USA is so obsessed with Ukraine to join NATO? The reason behind that is the USA wants Russia to feel threatened all the time. Let me tell you a very magnificent fact. When USSR was at very peak, the USA had formed North Atlantic Treaty Organization to counter the USSR. Once USSR was disintegrated, there is no use of NATO. Trump, the former president of the United States, had also stated this alliance as useless, and there is no need because Russia is in no position to challenge USA because USA is far ahead from them. The reason because the USA is obsessed with Ukraine to join NATO is that USA want Russia to feel threatened by NATO all the time, by which Russia will have to invest more in their arsenal, armories and defense, by which the economic growth of the Russia will automatically collapse. After the effect of Crimea War was that Ukraine signed the Minsk Agreement in the year 2014 and 15, under which Ukraine will restrict the USA's and other NATO countries' influence in Eastern Europe. In return, Russia will not attack the Ukraine, and further, it is sort of a ceasefire kind of thing. But in the year 2017, the things went out of the hand when Ukraine again started to cry about joining the NATO. Anyhow, why NATO is such a big problem for Russia and Putin? To answer this question is that North Atlantic Treaty Organization was formed mainly to counter the USSR. At that time, when USSR disintegrated, there is no such use of NATO, but still NATO carries on. There is Article 5 in NATO which states that if any one NATO country is under attack by, for example, Russia, then all 30 NATO country will attack Russia. So this is quite a threatening situation for Russia because all NATO countries are surrounding Russia in its western border. So yes, this is an alarming sign for Putin and Russia as well. A major question arises what United Nations is doing amid Russian and Ukraine war. I think they are built for this type of situation. When two countries are at a war position, they must act as an intermediary. So let me tell you what they are actually doing. So according to the Article 7, I will read out an article of United Nations Charter, Article number 7, under which it is stated that no nation will attack another nation, provided that the part of one nation wants freedom. In that case, neighboring country can attack the nation from which that part wants its freedom from. So Russia, by exploiting Article number 7, created two countries, Luhansk and Donetsk. These two countries are being separated from the Ukraine, and the puppet president were created to run run those countries. And these two presidents just wrote a letter to Putin to help them militarily to so that they can maintain their sovereignty from the capital Kiev. And when the same thing is done by the USA in the country like Syria, Afghanistan, Mali, Venezuela, Iraq, then there is no sanction on United States of America, the daddies of all global disaster. So yes, we live in a hypocritical world in which United Nations is just a puppet fabricated by USA and their allies, which is known as Western countries, or we can say that NATO. United Nations is nothing but a mannequin of the USA. Why I'm saying this? Let's give an example of India and Pakistan. It's been 75 years now and they are unable to solve the Kashmir issue since the independence. And the only thing we get from them is that increase your trade with Pakistan. It will help you to resolve the border issue. But this doesn't work. These type of hypocrisy, it shows that they are not professionals and they are just puppet in the hands of USA. So they have to think about their construction and why they are actually be. I think our Prime Minister has requested, even demanded United Nations to improve their structure so that each and every country can have a part in it, not only the five strong nations which have a veto power. At the time when Ukraine disintegrated from USSR in the year 1991, they have around 200 nukes to themselves. But in the year 1996, when they signed NPT treaty, they have to give up those nukes to Russia. If in a multi-world situation, if Ukraine hadn't signed this NPT treaty, then the circumstances might be different, as because Russia would not dare to attack a new country because the situation or the repercussions of this attack or this invasion might be very brutal, and it can this hurted the Russian people as well. There are many instances which proves that NATO really provoked this war, as I'm going to share an incident with you. As we all know, Russia is a great supplier of energy, gas and petroleum into the Europe. So they mainly use the Ukraine lands for their pipeline so that they can supply these products to whole Europe. So Ukraine, under the influence of NATO, kind of ordered Russia to pay them $33 billion a year so that they can lay those pipelines onto the land of Ukraine. Putin agrees on this, but later on Ukraine has to face the wrath of the Putin, as because they started to cry about joining the NATO, as I have mentioned it earlier. So this proves that the USA has really drowned this whole world into the big ugly war which caused the global economic recession, and the only reason behind this is NATO and the USA. So I hope that this video was quite informative, and I know I'm not a geopolitician, but this is what I got from whole incident from past 10 months. So till then, thank you very much.